Hello, good evening. This is a business meeting of the Augusta City Council. Today is Thursday, August 20th, 2026. Please join me in a Pledge of Allegiance followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, once again, welcome everyone. We've got a nice special presentation to lead off tonight's meeting. There'll be a presentation of the Spirit of America Award for the City of Augusta. Our honoree is Mr. Patrick Parody. I'd like to welcome to the podium Roger Pomelo, who will speak a little bit about the Spirit of America Award and our honoree, the honoree.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And I'm here as Roger Pomelo is here as a representative of the Spirit of America Foundation. The foundation was founded many years ago to encourage citizens of communities to volunteer their time, talents for community betterment. Over 500 Spirit of America Awards have presented in towns and cities throughout the state of Maine over the years. So this evening, we're here to recognize Augusta native Pat Parody, who's dedicated a good part of his life to public service, most of his life. He graduated from St. Augustine School in 1967, and then on to St. Joseph's Oblate High School in 1971, he graduated. Then he received a degree in history from Framingham University in 1975. While a student at Framingham, he had the unique honor to serve an internship for the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library. Patrick's professional public service includes 16 years in the state legislature. And among the many accomplishments while he was at the State House was spearheading the construction of the Memorial Bridge suicide prevention fence. And he supported the construction of senior housing projects in Augusta like Chateau Cushnock. He's still on the board of directors of Chateau Cushnock. Patrick was appointed to the legislature's Judiciary Committee. He became the House Chair of that committee in 1986. In 1988, Patrick received a Legislative Leadership Award from the National Commission Against Drunk Driving. And while on the Judiciary Committee, Patrick was a pioneer in working to get the legislation to toughen the prosecution of child molesters. And he was among one of the first in the country at the state level. While on the Judiciary Committee, Patrick worked to get, he also got elected, this is besides the Judiciary Committee, on the county level, he was elected county treasurer in 1988. And from there, he was elected to serve a maximum of, after that, a maximum of three-year terms on the Augusta City Council. He was exceptional in his public service in that he would walk many miles, and maybe people here have seen him in his neighborhood and throughout North Augusta for miles. And he would encounter people on the street and talk to all of them, and he would take notes. They would tell him all their problems involving anything involving government or municipality, and he always followed through, whether he was still in an office or not. And so that's something that's very unique about Patrick and makes him exceptional. And he's also served, in 2015, he was chosen by the Maine legislature to be in the State Franco-American Hall of Fame. Patrick has served in the United Way Board. He served as president of the Calumet Educational Foundation. He's been on the board of the Kennebec Valley Community Action Program. He served on the board of he serves right now currently, and has been for some time, on the Greater Augusta Utility District Board. And he's on the Augusta Zoning Appeals Board, and a life member of the Calumet Club. In 2025, the Maine legislature recognized Patrick for receiving the Framingham College National Alumni Achievement Award for leadership and service. So now you know why Patrick's here tonight. Congratulations, Patrick, and many thanks from the community and from the Spirit of America Foundation. And we have this Spirit of America Award that we're presenting him tonight.
Very good.
Mayor O'Brien and members of the council, it's a pleasure to be back from whence I came. And this chamber had me for 9 years, and it were some of the nicest 9 years that I ever served in public office. It's all more than serving in the legislature, I can tell you that. This is meeting the people, helping your neighbors and everything else, and I enjoyed it every meeting, even though some of them went a little long. As Mayor O'Brien can attest, he was my seatmate. I had Ward 3, he had Ward 4, and the mayor read everything before the meeting, and I said, how is it you know everything on the agenda? He said, my law professor told me, don't vote on anything you haven't read completely. And he did, and I'm sure he does to this day, Your Honor. I'm sure that you do. So just thank you. It's been a real good pleasure, and I think back to a British historian, Lord Tweedsmuir, as most people know him, but his name was John Buchanan. He wrote his autobiography in the 1880s, and he said that politics is an honorable profession, but for young people, public service should be considered the crown of a career. And that's how I looked at it. If I was elected, I had the pleasure of helping people out. And as Bill Bridgell said, when they didn't call to help me out, I'd stop at the house and say, don't you want help with this? There was a telephone pole that had been left on this gentleman's lawn, whom I knew. He was on Northern Avenue, and it was there for like 6 months. I said, Phil, what are you going to do with it? He said, I don't know. I don't know who to contact. He says, in another month, I got to cut the lawn here. It's April. I says, well, I go see Bill Bridgell. 2 days later, the log was gone. The telephone pole was gone. There, I says, it's 6 months. I said, that's abandoned property. I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I bet you could make a case. I can go over with my chainsaw and cut it. I said, that burns really good creosote. I said, I don't think they want you to do that. I said, tell them to go get go get it. Anyway, it's fun. I enjoyed it. I had very good parents who helped the neighbors in the area. Presentation of Mary nuns who were, they took a vow of poverty, and they were very good in teaching us different things to help people. They said, remember, when you grow up, pray that you don't have just 3 close friends, me, myself, and I. And that stuck for a long time. And the Oblate Fathers, whom I studied with high school and college, they helped the poor. Their charism was to help the poor. So that was embedded in me by our Lord, and I tried to be loyal to that and helping people out, especially the elderly, for heating assistance that had just started. I went to their homes because they were too embarrassed to go and sit in a room and wait and have other people think they're on welfare. This had nothing to do with welfare heating assistance. Doesn't even today, it's still around. So I said, no, they're not going to do that. I'll go to their home. So I printed the name here. It was in the paper and it was in our church bulletin, and I started getting calls. They weren't embarrassed to do it. I said, it's not welfare. I said, this is money that was taken from the oil companies for overcharging. I said, it's passed by the Congress, and this is you're getting it. So public service is the crown of a career, and all for old people too, like me. So thank you much, and thank you, Roger, and Mayor. I'd be glad to have you say anything or any member, any questions that you might have.
Council Mishu.
Pat, I've known you for 40 some odd years, and like Roger mentioned, used to see Pat walking everywhere in Augusta. And, over the last 10 or so years, I've gotten to know you a lot better, and I have the utmost respect for you and what you've done for our community, for public service. There are a few people that I know or knew of that's dedicated as much time in their life to the city of Augusta and the state of Maine. And, it's an honor for me to serve in Ward 3. I don't think I can carry the legacy that you carried, but I truly try to. I was honored to serve on a committee with you. We were co-chairs. COVID kind of kicked that a little bit, but, I think we were going in the right direction. But I really appreciate what you've done. Again, I have the highest amount of respect for you, and continue the good work, and it's such a well-deserved award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you very much.
Councilor Lind.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Pat Parody. How do you describe Pat? So I thought maybe a long-time Augusta political and civic leader. Running through your service, Pat, 16 years in the House, 8 years as Kennebec County Treasurer, 9 years on the council, and a brief moment as interim mayor, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
If I remember, the Loring Redevelopment Authority? Loring Redevelopment
Oh,
Authority?
yes, yeah, Roger, you forgot to put that in, I think.
I don't know how you reach 250 miles north, Pat, but
In there. Yeah, the governor appointed me, two governors appointed me to be on Loring Development. It's not a paying job, but the state owns the old Loring Air
Right.
Force Base, so we.
I
well, you know
found
that,
it
General.
intriguing that your reach went 250 miles north to, and so I just want to say thank you, Pat, for your many years of service is commendable. And I just wanted to thank you for your professionalism, your conduct, your appearance. I think you set an example when you sat up here for many to see. Always professional, always civic, and it was an honor to get to know you, Pat, and to meet you and to follow in your footsteps. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Counselor Sinkowitz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi, Pat. It's really good to see you. This is such a well-deserved award. When I first became interested in municipal government, one of the very first things anyone said was, you need to meet Pat and Cecil. And that was great advice. I am a recipient of some of your kindness. You've bestowed some wisdom on me that has made me a better public servant. And I am really grateful to know you, to have that gift, and then also for all you've done in the city of Augusta. Many of it predates my time, and it still is lingering now. The impacts are going to last for a very long time, and I think this city is incredibly, incredibly much better because of the work that you've done and continue to do, whether it's in large ways or small. One of my favorite moments was when you invited me to go to Chateau Cushnock with you and seeing the residents interact with you and understand the work that you've done in those big ways, but also in the quiet moments of connecting with people. So thank you, Pat. Congratulations. This is exactly who the award should be going to.
Counselor Austin, then Counselor Judkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So my story is a lot like Councilor Sinkowitz. When I first was thinking about running for council, somebody said, you really better call Pat Parody. So I did, and Pat was generous enough to meet with me and helped me figure out how to run a campaign, told me what to expect, told me how to talk with constituents. And it's been a real pleasure getting to know you, Pat, over these past few years and running into you at community events. I think almost any event I go to, Pat's there. And he's probably at all the ones I don't go to, too. So it's been a real honor, Pat, and I do appreciate it. And thank you for your service.
Counselor Judkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sir, you exemplify giving through public service more than anybody I can think of. This community owes you a debt of gratitude that I think would be difficult to ever repay. Just want to thank you for just the endless hours, tireless work, your lifelong commitment to this community. It's outstanding. They couldn't have picked a better recipient for this award. So I just want to say thank you and let you know that you are greatly appreciated.
So, Patrick, congratulations. As the recitation of your career demonstrates, you've been totally committed to public service and the betterment of Augusta your whole career. I appreciate your kind words towards me. I enjoyed working with you on the city council and as well with Councilor Munson, who has joined us tonight. I think it goes back to when you and I and Cecil were on the council, when we didn't always agree on everything, but we were very civil to each other and engaged in thoughtful discussion. And I think that's kind of laid the groundwork. I think that continues today. I hope it does today. And I think it goes back to those days as well. So I'm really pleased that you're being recognized with the Spirit of America Award. I think you're totally deserving, and you join the ranks of others who have been so honored, but you're right at the top of that list, and I'm pleased for you and congratulate you.
May I just say a comment? It's directed at our city manager, but I helped raise a son who was a sergeant with Cumberland County Sheriff's Department, and he actually thinks our manager is one of the best chiefs in the entire state of Maine. And there's never a bad word about him. He'll say, "How's the chief?" And I know he's talking about our manager, because that's how he knew him, and he was a great example to him. And that was a real pleasure to have somebody like Nathan growing up and steering him. What he wanted to do was that into be public safety. So I was very fortunate for that. So thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your very generous words. I guess I could run for the United States Senate now with endorsements from all of you.
She's probably not too late.
I wouldn't, you couldn't appoint me to the United States Senate. No, I'm very pleased. I'm staying in Augusta. It's been a good home and some good people here. So thank you, Mayor and members of
Thank
the
you.
council.
Congratulations. And thank you, Roger, for your part in this. We're going to move next to a public hearing. The public hearing is in regards to a new liquor license for Caldwell and Park Hospitality LLC, DBA The Kennebec Room. Just to kind of preview how we'll conduct the public hearing, we're going to be hearing testimony from staff, the applicant, and persons present who wish to speak for, against, or neither for nor against. We'll invite I'll ask if staff has any presentation. They don't necessarily will have to. Invite the applicant to come up and speak. And after that, invite persons who wish to speak in favor of the application. Next, those who wish to speak in opposition to the application. And then finally, from those who wish to speak neither for nor against, but nevertheless would like to testify. After all that's done, I'll invite the applicant back up again if there's anything they want to add or reiterate. And once there are no more persons wishing to testify, we'll conclude the hearing, and we'll move on with the rest of the agenda. Once we have the public hearing, once it's closed, we do have an order on the agenda for tonight to move ahead with consideration of the new liquor license for Caldwell and Park Hospitality. With that, I've opened the public hearing, and let me first ask if Augusta City staff has any testimony that they'd like to offer. No. So invite the applicant up to the podium. And when you're there, please identify yourself and where you're from. And it's good if you'd speak directly into the microphone so people at home can pick up the comments. Thank you.
My name is Jock Caldwell,
My name's Mallory Park.
and we have applied for a liquor license through the state and through the city for our new endeavor called the Kennebec Room. We have taken over the space, or leased the space at 300 Water Street, formerly known as the Riverfront Barbecue and Gin Mill. And we are keeping the same concept in form of a restaurant downstairs, more of a bar and lounge upstairs. Our hope is to get approval through the city to move forward. We're looking forward to bringing our expertise to the city of Augusta. We both have been working in hospitality here in Augusta for quite some time, myself since 2017. I also have a wedding business myself called the Nightcap Bar Company, which is a dry hire mobile bar service for the wedding industry. So I've been in the industry quite some time, and Mallory and I both worked together previously at a local restaurant downtown in Augusta, as well as managed that restaurant and bar scene quite well, I would say. And so when we were approached to open this business, I couldn't have picked a better colleague to do it with in coming to the city that we've loved and known for quite some time to add more to downtown.
I wonder if councilors have any questions. Council Sinkowitz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi, it's nice to meet you, Jock and Mallory. It's great to see something go into this space so quickly. I know Riverfront has been a landmark in Augusta for quite some time. I know my family has fond memories there, had many a good meal. And so it's good to see that space get filled up. I'm also very enthused, having heard many rave reviews about the Nightcap Bar, that this is the ownership that's going into this restaurant. So thank you very much for your investment in our downtown. I had one question. The application indicated that code had flagged a couple changes, and I wanted to just check in and see how that's going and if you're ready to get moving.
Yeah, thanks for that question. So there's not too many changes happening, more interior space changes. So downstairs is just wide open restaurant space. We are installing a knee wall, it's called, down the middle, so that there's more of a defined space between people who are bar patrons that want just like a quick bite and a cocktail. And then on the other side of the knee wall is more of intimate setting where you'll sit for date night or lunch, a quick lunch to grab and go. Or so there's those defined spaces. Upstairs, formerly the gin mill, it is going to stay a lounge, and the dimensions of that is not changing. Nothing up there is changing just besides decor and color, but the transition's happening more downstairs. Outside, nothing's happening right now. We do have a sign permit in for an awning replacement to just replace the same awning that's there, but with our current logos. But those are just the kind of small, but also kind of big aesthetic changes that will add a bunch to the restaurant and make it feel refreshed.
Yeah, I just want to add, we're a part of our renovation plan is really just like a fresh set of paint, some new colors, new flooring, new decor, and then really leaning into the history of the Kennebec River. So if that gives you any indication with like the logging and whatnot, that's kind of our theme that we're running with downstairs. So.
Well, that sounds great. I can't wait to visit. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Councillor Mishu and then Councillor Judkins.
Well, welcome back to downtown, and now you have a stake in it. I used to work at one of the restaurants downtown 45 years ago, and there was only a couple. So, and where your building is has a history that I might have frequented once or twice back in the day. So I just have one quick question. Are you keeping the menu sort of a barbecue type thing, or are you changing the menu?
Another great question. We are going to have a barbecue section. We're going to call it From the Smoker, because that smoker is a huge integral part of that kitchen itself, but also the history of the building. So we don't want to take that away. Also, we've heard from the comments from when Riverfront had posted that they were closing, and all the great comments about the barbecue and especially the cornbread, which I'm still trying to get the recipe. But it won't be focused in barbecue. It's going to be more American pub fare, a little bit more elevated. Our hope is that you go downstairs for dinner and for a nice cocktail, glass of wine, and then you transition your night upstairs to finish with more like craft cocktails and more of a lounge vibe. So you kind of make that general transition from one space to the next, and you get kind of two different worlds under one building.
Well, again, welcome to Augusta. We look forward to being patrons.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Judkins.
Mr. Mayor, I'm afraid Councilor Mishu is reading off my paper again. He took my question, so that was my question. I'm kind of curious about the new fair and such. So beyond that, welcome to Augusta. Thank you for stepping right in and didn't miss a beat. And when do you think you'll be open?
Renovations, as always, we know, take a little bit of time. So we're hoping that we'll be fully open by the last week in September. Our hopeful opening date is the 30th, and then kicking off October right off the bat, having a couple soft opens the week prior, and we'll do a trial run downstairs, a trial run upstairs, and then a trial run with both of them. So we'll have 3 soft open nights that we'll put out for invite, and then hopefully open on the 30th. If all goes well.
Myself and my family look forward to coming down and enjoying some more meals there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Lind.
Thank you for opening or redoing that restaurant. It's great. I mean, I'm retired and I have mobility now, and I'm choosing to stay here. So it's nice to be able to have an option here. Got a couple tough questions. One you don't have to answer, but so I travel quite a bit, and some of the people I travel with, some of my friends are vegetarians, and I found that to be in some places tough. We just got back from Burlington, and there were a lot of options. So if you don't have an option, I'd ask you to consider a couple options. That's a generational thing. I guess my generation, not so much, but those that are younger than I am are always looking for that option. And in the back stairs to the gin mill, accessibility, I'm not quite sure they're great. That wood could probably be looked at a little bit.
Replacing.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yep, it's definitely on our mind to have a contractor look at that and see what needs to be done immediately to make it more safe.
Yeah.
And then to make sure that it's obviously up to accessibility code.
You might even free up some space, some tables up there or something. I mean, it just doesn't look efficient. It kind of looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, we'll have another chance to come back at the end of the public hearing if you'd like.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me ask if there are anybody here in attendance who'd like to offer testimony in support of the application for the liquor license. All right, is there anybody who would like to speak in opposition? Is there anybody who would like to speak neither for nor against, but would nevertheless like to testify? All right, hearing none to all of that. John and Valerie, I don't know if there's anything that you want to add or, okay, good. All right, with that, I'm going to close the public hearing. The next steps will be, there'll be an order that comes up on the agenda where we'll have another opportunity for public comment. We go through the whole agenda with respect to public comment, and then we come back around, and then the council takes action on all those orders. So 2 more steps, yet to come tonight. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda consisting of 2 items, 26, 128, and 129. Let's begin with 128, please, Madam Clerk.
26-128, City Manager, Bureau of City Clerk. Be it ordered that the minutes of the City Council regular business meeting held August 6, 2026, submitted by the City Clerk's office, be hereby approved.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, 26-129, please.
26-129, City Manager, Bureau of Audit. Be it ordered that the roll of accounts for July 2026 in the amount of $9,718,184.11 be hereby approved.
Thank you. Public comment? All right, next is new business orders and resolves, 26-130, please.
26-130, City Manager, be it ordered that the liquor license for Caldwell and Park Hospitality LLC, DBA The Kennebec Room, located at 300 Water Street, be hereby approved.
Thank you. This is an opportunity for further public comment, if there's any. Again, hearing none, we'll move next to 26-131, please.
26-131, Mayor and Council, be it ordered that pursuant to Section 7 of Article 7 of the City Charter and other enabling authority, that 1, borrowing a sum not to exceed $750,000 be and hereby is authorized for the purpose of paying all or a portion of the cost of the design, engineering, and construction, reconstruction, renovation, repair, and equipping of improvements to roads and infrastructure within the Quimby Business Park Tax Increment Financing District, and the reconstruction, renovation, repair, repaving, and improvement of the Worcester.
Mr. Mayor,
Council Lynn.
move to waive further reading of item 26-131 with consent.
Let me ask if there's any objection. The motion's adopted by unanimous consent. So this order, 26-131, is what we refer to as the council bond. Under our city charter, the city council itself has authority to issue or order a bond up to $750,000, and that's the amount that the council is proposing this year. Is there any public comment? All right. We'll move on to 26-132, please.
26-132, Mayor and Council, be it ordered pursuant to Section 7 of Article 7 of the City Charter and other enabling authority that 1, the borrowing
by the City of Augusta, the city, of a sum not to exceed $7,370,000, be and hereby is authorized for the purpose of paying all or a portion of the cost of capital expenditures for the acquisition of equipment of a lasting character for the Augusta Civic Center, a mechanical study relating to the renovation, repair, and improvement of the Augusta Civic Center, the design, construction, reconstruction, renovation, repair, improvement, and equipping of city buildings and facilities, including the Calumet Park Swimming Pool, the Hartford Fire Station, and Department of Public Works Garage, the acquisition and equipping of a replacement rescue vehicle for the City of Augusta Fire Department, and the reconstruction, renovation, repair, replacement, and improvement of city streets, sidewalks, and related facilities throughout the city.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor Lynn.
move to waive further reading of item 26-132 with consent.
Is there any objection? I don't see any, so the motion is adopted by unanimous consent. This order, 132, is the bond that we propose to put out for public referendum and vote on November 3rd, 2026, to implement portions of our capital improvement program for those purposes just recited by the city clerk. Is there any public comment? All right, hearing none. Move next to 133, pardon me.
26-133, Mayor and Council, be it ordered pursuant to Section 7 of Article 7 of the City Charter, 20A MRS subsection 15904, and other enabling authority that, 1, the appropriation and borrowing, therefore, by the City of Augusta, the city, of a sum not to exceed $53,525,590 be and hereby is authorized for the purpose of paying all or a portion of the cost of capital expenditures for the design, engineering, construction, reconstruction, restoration, repair, replacement, and equipping of renovations to approximately 48,000 square feet of the existing Farrington Elementary School located in the city, and the design, construction, and equipping of an approximately 33,000 square foot expansion to the Farrington Elementary School.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor Lynn.
move to waive further reading of item 26-133 with consent.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is adopted by unanimous consent. This order, 133, relates to borrowing for the renovation and expansion of Farrington Elementary School to accommodate the closing of Hussey Elementary School. And Mr. City Manager, before we go into public comment, you want to bring up the issue with respect to the amount?
Certainly, it was identified, Your Honor, before the meeting that there is one error in the amount where it says $53,525,590. That actually should be $53,571,590. So it was a difference of $46,000, and that was a miscommunication between the school's superintendent and the bond group they were working with. But the superintendent's here. We'd love to make some public comment if you'll have him.
Sure. With respect to that, I anticipate when it comes back around for council action to address this, there'll be a motion to amend to substitute the new correct figure. With that, let me open it up to public comment. Mr. Superintendent?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Good to see you all. I carry with me the 499-page concept approval, and I have it in my office. I'd love to let any of you read it. I just told the architects I'm ashamed that they didn't come in at 500 pages. I mean, they could have made it a little longer. All joking aside, I want to thank you for your time and consideration of this motion before you tonight in the order to allow the referendum of the $53,571,590 to be considered for referendum for a bond for the new renovation and addition at Farrington Elementary School. Just to highlight, I believe that this is a wonderful opportunity for the city. I was on with a state superintendent's group this week talking about the new law in Maine now, where the Department of Education will no longer fund school capital improvements and new school construction projects at 100%. That law we're the last project to get in at the 100% rate. So I don't want to say that this is roses and it's perfect, because of course we'll have some fundraising and there's a lot of work to do to get this done. But as far as the cost of this building, that bond will be refunded by the Department of Education with state funds over the next 20 years. Just like the Coney project that we're concluding, we're paying that off this year. A totally state-funded project. We're going to have, I don't want to say all the bells and whistles, but there will be spaces, maker spaces for STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. There'll be places, play spaces for our younger 3- and 4-year-olds. There's been a lot of consideration for where our bathrooms, single bathrooms in the stalls, for unisex bathrooms. All kinds of new things that we think are going to be great for the children and families in Augusta. If approved at referendum by the voters in November, the formal design process will happen. That takes a little less than a year, and we'll go right out to bidding the public competitive bid process and to hire a contractor, and then about a 2-year process for the new school construction. There'll be some phasing. There are 7 phases. I won't bore you with that, but a lot of phasing with moving students around the complex and maybe putting a couple of grade levels in another school for a year. There's going to be a little movement in order to get this done, but in the long term will be a wonderful project for us. And I don't have to tell you that many of us in the room went to Huzzy School, and it's a shame we have to close that school, but it is over 75 years old, and it's overdue, and it's a wonderful building that we've kept along. It's been maintained well, but it is time to look at closing that facility. So I will not keep it going any longer, but I'd be happy to answer questions.
Sure. Councilor Mishu?
I heard you mention that this is the last project that will be 100% funded by the state.
Yes, sir.
So the next time around, when Augusta needs a new school, that means the municipality may have to kick some money in. Is that kind of what I'm reading here?
That is what you're reading, and it's approximating at a 70-30 split. But the details of that have not been worked out. As I understand it, you could have lower income, sort of like the ED 279 is funded greater in poorer communities. There could be greater state funds for poorer communities, and communities that are more well off would be more closer to that 70-30 split. So yes, the local town or RSU, depending on where you were, would have some skin in the game.
I'm assuming there's not a project in Augusta that we have to worry about in the next few years?
From the education, it's the Farrington project.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, everything is pretty solid.
As far as the rest of our schools, yes,
Yes.
sir. Nothing outstanding. That we're working on the Coney roof. That's time, believe it or not, after 20 years that we're redoing that. We're phasing that over 3 or 4 years. But outside of that, there's no major capital improvement.
Councilor Lynn?
Like, I want to make this crystal clear for people that are going to the voting booth. When they vote for this bond, it is 100% entirely paid by the state.
That is correct.
Just want a lot of words.
Yes, sir. This bond amount, there will be 4 questions in that the wording on the
On the ballot?
On the ballot, thank you, thank you. One will be to approve the $53 million bond. The second one is approving the project. The third one is in reference to closing Huzzy School. And the third or the fourth item on there will be allowing us to raise up to $1 million in fundraising. So there will be some fundraising, but it won't be a local portion that we have to put in our school
No
budget.
impact to the taxpayers in
No,
Augusta.
no specific
Just want to
impact.
make
to
that clear
no
for
impact.
people to know that. Yep,
Correct.
thank you.
So I was going to follow up on that question, that in case there's any question, that $1 million figure that'll appear in the question, that's voluntary, that's to allow
Voluntary.
for voluntary contributions
Correct.
from members of the community or even outside of the community towards the project.
Correct.
Yep.
Only fundraising, sir, yes.
And Councilor Judkins.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Superintendent, what would the local fundraising go to cover? What's with the?
Good question. Thank you. The Department of Education has a variety of limits set for things like playground equipment, or could be some things like landscaping, playground equipment, equipment in the schools if you wanted to upgrade to some of the technologies that we may want in the schools, those kinds of things we would look at likely having to fundraise for. They give you a base amount for playground equipment, but we might want to do something more expansive, and that would be what we'd use that for.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilor Sinkowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi, Superintendent Tracy. Thank you for coming and giving us this explanation tonight. I wanted to thank your staff and yourself for getting us to this point of the project. I've been able to attend some of the meetings about this, even though my kids are West Side kids. Many of their friends are on the East Side, and the thoughtfulness of the architects and the community members that have put their input into this, and then the staff as well, is really remarkable. The project that's planned will serve Augusta very, very well. I had the opportunity to attend Huzzy's Popsicles on the Playground this week and get to know that community at that school a little bit. And it's really vibrant. It's really a strong school community, and I'm excited. I know this is a big transition for that community, but I am excited that those kids and families will be so well served by this project. So thank you. Really glad to sneak under that wire and get this last school funding project here in Augusta. And thank you for getting us to this point of the project.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Readers of the question will note that it's not just the expansion of Farrington School, but there'll be some renovation improvements to the existing
That's correct, sir.
existing Farrington School. Can you speak to that briefly?
Yes. In order to meet the newer Department of Education guidelines for classroom spaces or the restrooms, as I've said, the size of, for example, the cafeteria is undersized at Farrington as is currently with the number of students we have. So, almost doubling the number of students. So we're putting a larger cafeteria right now. It's slated to be on the back side of where the gym is currently. So putting in a number of classroom spaces. So the renovation specifically will be to move some walls to make greater spaces. So while they're doing that, some of those cubby areas or some of the bathrooms on the inside of the classrooms, depending on the age, will be changed into different, more modern uses. At the same time, when we're looking at adding a small wing off the front, which would be for our younger 3- and 4-year-old programming, which we're taking the fact that we're inheriting this directive from the state and trying to turn it to something good for Augusta. So we'll have equitable programs on both sides of the river. So the entirety of the inside of the building, to answer your question specifically, will be entirely renovated. So any system that isn't already brand new will be upgraded. So any electrical systems, fire panels, heating, all of those pieces will be upgraded so that once it's built and we take possession, it will be a 50-year building, a new 50-year building. And of course, Farrington was built in 1988, so it'll be like completely brand new.
Great. Good to know. Councilor Mission?
I'm sure that you've covered all of this, because what kind of a disruption do you think it's going to be to the students during the reconstruction? Because I'm sure you're not going to try to do it during summer break.
Yeah. This is not, I'm not going to paint a rosy picture of this. There will be disruption. People can expect that, that what might be a first grade classroom this year is an office space the next year and a fifth grade space the following year. So that could happen, and there could be, I don't want to scare anyone, there could be a grade level that might need to go to a different, try to fit it, 2 classes in a different school for a year, something like that. We hate to have to, we're looking for every way possible to minimize that. So we will maximize what gets done in the summer to the extent feasible, because the contractors, they don't want to be there as much. They want to get as much done without students and teachers there as well. So there's a phasing plan, but that will be tightened up over after referendum. They go to work designing specifically, and then we work with a contractor on real nuts and bolts of what that will look like. But frankly, there will be some disruption.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Parks, the Ward 2 school board member in Augusta, and I've also had the honor to serve on the building committee since its inception for this wonderful project. And as somebody who's followed this along for 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years, the committee is very, very excited about this building for our sweeties. And our staff people and our families. Some of the things that are going to be expanded will be the nurses' suite, which right now is just a room. It will have a larger suite where kids can have more privacy and the nurse can attend to the children better. There will be a larger administrative suite also, it's a very small space right now. And we'll also have some wonderful safety things, such as we're going to have better circulation for the buses and for parental drop-off and pickup for the kids, so that we'll be using the road that we own on the west side of the campus as part of that circulation. And the parking lot will be larger too for community events and school events. So going through this for me has been a wonderful experience. I've learned so much about this process and been excited to contribute to it. We are planning to send out letters to businesses throughout Augusta to ask them to put up a poster to just say, go to the polls, vote. We're not going to tell them how to vote, but just go to the polls and vote on this super important project that belongs to them, belongs to the residents of this city. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? All right, presuming this gets favorable action from the council later on tonight, this question would also appear on the November 3rd ballot. Moving next to 26134.
26-134, Mayor and Council. Be it ordered that the City Council of the City of Augusta hereby appropriates.
Mr. Mayor,
Council Lynn.
move to waive further reading of item 26-134 with consent.
Let me ask if there's any objection. Hearing none. The motion's adopted by unanimous consent. This order, if you had had a chance to look at the agenda for tonight, deals with providing fixed route transportation within the city of Augusta. But, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Your Honor. In light of some recent developments on the transportation front, public transportation front for the city, we have had some other options come up that I think we need some time to look into beyond what we talked about last week at the informational meeting. So my recommendation would be to hold off a bit while we do some follow-up and bring some information back to you.
All right. Nevertheless, while it doesn't appear on the agenda and we haven't dealt with it yet, I will invite public comment with respect to 26-134, if there is any. All right. Good. 26-135, please.
26-135, City Manager. Be it ordered that the city manager is hereby authorized to accept a donation of $350 from William Clardy. Said funds will be allocated to the Recreation Bureau for the operation and maintenance of the public pools.
Thank you. Mr. Clardy is here tonight, and this is the opportunity for public comment. Do you want to, it's up to you.
William Clardy, clearly from Augusta, and just trying to make good on an offer I first said out loud back during the budget hearings, and just that I wish more people would actually not feel like the only way that they can give more money is to ask you guys to increase the taxes for everybody and require everybody to pay more money. So for those of us who can afford it, while we can afford it, this is my gesture. Thank you.
Very good. Appreciate your follow-through on that. Is there any further public comment with respect to the donation? All right, I hear none. So we'll move to 26-136.
26-136, Mayor and Council. Be it ordered that the City of Augusta property taxes for the 2027 fiscal year adopted by Council Order 26-076 on May 21, 2026 be hereby amended to defer the interest for any outstanding amount of the installment due on September 24, 2026 from one day after the due date to commence on December 1, 2026.
All right, before I go to public comment, and seeing that this is on the agenda, circumstances have changed since it first got printed and published. Mr. City Manager, would you explain?
Thank you, Your Honor. As you recall, last week during an informational meeting, the city clerk and I brought to you a proposal because of the revaluation that we thought, reading the statute ourselves with our non-law degree, we thought we had the discretion to be able to delay interest payments with an amended order. But after being pointed out by our corporation counsel, which is why we have them to keep us out of hot water, there is a requirement that any such order is done before the commitment of taxes, which was actually on August 7th. So this is obviously past August 7th, and as much as we would like to, and I know you all would like to delay the interest payments because of the revaluation, we don't have the legal discretion to do that. You don't, and I don't. So unfortunately, it was a good idea, but my error, and I apologize for any confusion, but we don't have the legal authority to delay that. So tax bills, as far as the good news is that they are ready to go. We are expecting them to go out next week, so we're only about a week behind that we were last year, and that all the information will be on there accordingly.
Thank you. So while I do not anticipate that this will move forward tonight, nevertheless, I do invite public comment, if there is any. 26-136. All right. Hearing none. Flipping the page over to old business ordinances being read for the second time. There will be a vote required tonight. 26-123, please.
26-123, Mayor and Council, whereas the Planning Board finds that updates to the land use ordinance are required by newly enacted state laws regarding subdivisions, and whereas the Planning Board finds that these changes are expected to enhance developers' and homeowners' ability to create new housing, addressing a city council goal for 2026, now therefore be it ordained.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Lind.
move to waive further reading of item 26-123 with consent.
Is there any objection? Hearing none. The motion's adopted by unanimous consent. This proposed change to the land use ordinance deals with newly enacted state law regarding subdivisions. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, moving on to 26-124 on the second reading.
26-124, Mayor and Council, whereas the Planning Board finds that updates to the land use ordinance are required by newly enacted state laws regarding accessory dwelling units, and whereas the Planning Board finds that these changes are expected to enhance developers' and homeowners' ability to create new housing, addressing a city council goal for 2026. Now, therefore, be it ordained.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Lind?
move to waive further reading of item 26-124 with consent.
Thank you. Is there any objection? I hear none, so the motion's adopted by unanimous consent. This proposed change to the land use ordinance 26-124 deals with accessory dwelling units as defined in state law and our ordinance, and I invite any public comment. Again, these changes, by the way, these changes to the land use ordinance come recommended, having been vetted by and recommended to us from the planning board. 26-125, I think is next.
26-125, Mayor and Council, whereas the Planning Board finds that the comprehensive plan is clear and that an economically vibrant downtown is critical to Augusta's future, and whereas the Planning Board recognizes that active storefronts on Water Street are an important element of the economic vibrance that does not exist when storefronts are converted to residential use, and whereas the presence of residential uses is equally important throughout the downtown and all other parts of buildings that do not front on Water Street. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Augusta that the Land Use Ordinance, Section 300-314.2, subsection C, subsection 1, subsection B, shall be hereby amended to add the following language. 5, residential land uses are not permitted within 30 feet of the face of the building at street level, fronting Water Street south of the Commercial Street intersection. Be it further ordained that the moratorium ordinance on residential development within Kennebec Business District 1 enacted on April 2, 2026 be hereby repealed.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? All right, hearing none, we're going to move next to new business. Ordinance is being read for the first time, so there's no vote required tonight. 26-137, please.
26-137, Mayor and Council, whereas the Planning Board finds that updates to the land use ordinance are required by newly enacted state laws regarding daycares, and whereas the Planning Board finds that these changes are expected to enhance the availability of daycares in the city, now therefore be it ordained.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Counselor Lind.
move to waive further reading of item 26-137 with consent.
Thank you. Is there any objection? I hear none, I see none. The motion is adopted by unanimous consent. As the prefatory language explains, this change to the land use ordinance is pursuant to newly enacted state law and it relates to daycares. Is there any public comment? All right. Where to next? All right, we're at the point of the agenda where we can go back for council action on the several proposed actions and orders on tonight's agenda, beginning with the consent agenda.
Move for passage, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Counselor Lind,
Second.
seconded by Counselor Judkins. This is 26-128 and 129. Discussion? Now, please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Next is 26-130, the liquor license for the Kennebec Room.
Move for passage, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Counselor Lind,
Second.
seconded by Counselor Judkins. Discussion on this order. Counselor Lind.
I just want to say thank you for opening another restaurant and keeping that one going and renovating it. Thank you very, very much.
Is there any further? And then please vote.
I just want to make sure they get that cornbread recipe.
If they get it, they're not going to give it to you.
Okay, all right.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right. Good luck going forward. 26-131 is the order with respect to the council bond in the amount of $750,000.
Move for passage, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Counselor Lind,
Second.
seconded by Counselor Judkins. Discussion? Counselor Sinkowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to highlight the work that city staff did, including our late Assistant City Manager, Bill Post, in putting together our CIP that has made this prioritization of funding much easier as a council in a city. That was an incredible amount of work, and it will continue to benefit the city for years to come. So, as always, a large thank you to all the staff involved, but particularly our late Assistant City Manager, Bill Post. Thank you.
Thank you. Further? All right. Please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Next is 26-132, which is another bond issue. This one out for public referendum in November in the amount of $7,370,000 for various capital improvement projects.
Move for passage, Mr. Mayor.
It's been moved for passage by Counselor Lind
Second.
and seconded by Counselor Judkins. Discussion? All right, please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Moving next to 26-133, which is the question about the renovation and expansion of Farrington Elementary School to replace Hussey School.
Move for passage, Mr. Mayor.
Been moved for passage by Counselor Lind,
Second, Mr. Mayor.
seconded by Counselor Judkins.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor Lind.
move to amend item 26133 as follows, where reads $53,525,590 to read $53,571,590 throughout the body of the order.
Thank you. There's been a motion to amend to substitute a new figure for the one that exists in the existing order. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion to amend has been seconded by Counselor Judkins. Discussion on the motion to amend? I think we got the explanation earlier in the meeting about why this is necessary and appropriate. If there's no further discussion, please vote on the motion to amend.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Now I invite council discussion on the motion as amended. Councilor Mishu.
I had the opportunity and privilege to serve on the school board the first year that this thing came up. And that Hussey School was in 9th position to be replaced. And it stayed there for a little while. And I did serve on an ad hoc committee that first year to see what it would look like. And, you know, I was an advocate of consolidation. And I'm glad to see that how they're going about it. And closing Hussey, I'm sure that building will have some value to the city of Augusta going forward, and look forward to the Farrington project going forward in the consolidation.
Councilor Judkins.
Not to say that that building is in need of replacement, good old Huzzy School, but I started my scholastic career into kindergarten at Huzzy School. And I'm really freaking old, so there you go.
Further discussion, Counselor Sinkowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would encourage anyone who is interested to go to the school department's website to look up the renderings and the plans that they have for the new addition to Farrington. There is a lot that has gone into it so far, and it is really a remarkable plan. So I am very much in favor of moving this to the ballot, and I'm hopeful that the city will approve this measure so that we can have this resource for our kids for, as Superintendent Tracy said, the next 50 years. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is an opportunity that won't come again, and a special opportunity for us to address the needs at the elementary school level. Those of us who have gone to Huzzy will miss Huzzy and the concept of the neighborhood school that embodied, but this is a very good move forward for the city, and I would urge councilors to support this. If there's no further discussion, please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
The next order, 26134, is the one that pertains to the effort to provide fixed route transportation within the city of Augusta. You will remember that the city manager, during the public comment portion, recommended that we not move forward with this. What's the council's pleasure?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Lynn.
I'd move to table indefinitely item 26-134.
Move to table indefinitely. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Judkins. No discussion on a tabling motion? No, okay, right. Please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right, a motion table indefinitely kills the motion. It may come back in a different form at some point, as we haven't given up on this effort. We've got more information, and we're going to continue to work on it. Next is 26135. This is the generous donation from Mr. William Clardy.
For passage, Mr. Mayor.
Second?
Moved by Councilor Lind and seconded by Councilor Judkins. Discussion? Councilor Judkins.
Just a thank you to Mr. Clardy. Appreciate it.
Further? Please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. 26136. This order has to do with the effort to defer interest on first installment of real estate taxes coming due in September. Again, at the earlier in the meeting, it was explained to us that with the advice of counsel, this is something we really can't do, although we would like very much to do it. So what's the council's pleasure on this order? Is there a motion? There is no motion to approve, so the motion fails to go forward for lack of a motion to approve and lack of a second. (26.123) is a first reading. No, I'm sorry. My mistake. 26.123. This is the second reading tonight. So there is a vote required. This has to do with a land use change ordinance regarding subdivisions.
Move for passage,
Moved by
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Lind,
Second?
seconded by Councilor Jenkins. Discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
26124 is another land use ordinance change recommended by the planning board and required by new state law regarding accessory dwelling units.
Move for passage, Mr.
And
Mayor.
that's been moved for passage by Councilor Lind
Second?
and seconded by Councilor Judkins. Is there discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Next is 26125. This order amends our current land use ordinance with respect to prescribing residential uses on the face of the building at street level on Water Street.
For passage, Mr. Mayor.
Moved by Counselor Lind
Second.
and seconded by Counselor Austin. Discussion? Counselor Austin?
Yeah, I'll just add a comment on this, that I think this is a really important order to preserve the vitality and commercial characteristics of downtown. So I'm glad we're moving forward with this, and thank you to all the councilors who have supported this concept.
Thank you. Is there anything else? All right, please vote.
Motion carries, 7 in favor, 0 opposed.
Now we come to first read of proposed ordinances. 26137 is the first read on the proposed change to the land use ordinance regarding daycares. No vote required tonight. So that takes us to near the end of the agenda. We still have communications, a motion to consider going into executive session, and then one final order of new business. That's 26139, which I will ask that the city clerk read for us.
26-139, City Manager. Be it ordered that the City of Augusta hereby accepts an in-kind donation with an estimated value of $50,000 from a group of Augusta residents consisting of a sensory regulation building to be constructed on city-owned property at Fuller Field by the Capital Area Technical Center Building Construction Program in